Right, yo, welcome back. We'll go to town and I'll show you how I upgraded the Alof and Endurance. Because I'm going to have to update the spellbook, won't I? Anyway, so yes. Rah. I don't mind bounties being hard, but the fact that it just completely ignored my front row to go get my back row at some point is kind of weird. Anyway,
Yes.
Alof here, we gave him Blackened Sight, the blind folk, as his ability. He's what's called cantrip ability for level 2. And Durance, we got Iconic Protection, because that's the only spellings for level 2 that I use. So, fuck it, we'll get a few more of them in the fight now. And yeah, I'm going to edit his Grimoire. Yeah. So, what we got as well was. Yes, this one. Alchemyr's Capricious Hex, which causes dazed, sickened, paralysed, and all foes. It's a 40 AoE, so fuck it, that's useful. And we've got Chain Lightning now, which is a shock target. It hits a target and then jumps to 6 other targets. That's a spell I like. Yeah, but level 2, I don't have many spells that I would use at level 2. Apart from Bulwark Against the Elements, which just came in handy in that last.
Indeed.
Which absolutely came in handy. And oh yeah, we got Durance got some level 6 spells.
Sure.
The Marshal should be here. Alright, Theodore. The Thermal Pearl you saw was really a Lagofath egg. The little creature sticks its head out your pack and looks at Theodore with bulging blue eyes. His jaw flaps silent for a few seconds. I've never seen one so small, but the little fella looks downright tame. How about I buy it from you? The performers that pass through would take an interest in something like this. Don't do it! I'm keeping it for you, Adair, don't you worry. Whatever you say, just watch your fingers when he gets big. I'm still looking for someone to take care of those dangerous folk roaming the area if you're up to it. The Gloom Society's no more. Okay. Plenty of folk here will be happy to hear it. Last week needs another big war. Take this. Sagani level up. And I got 2 achievements. I don't know what for though. We'll go her on athletics. So we'll give her some survival. I honestly don't know what to give her. She got plenty of stealth, and I doubt I'll ever need a stealth check that high. So athletics or survival? We'll give her survival, that way you get bigger damage reduction bonuses. And I'll have to get to level 13 before she can get the bigger damage reduction, but that's fine. Alright, play dead. Ah, so that heals it. Revive companion. Stunning shots. Okay, so if I target the same as the companion, it will stun them for 2 seconds. Next, Master's Call. That could be a target, run it behind all the enemies and just use Master's Call and it runs right towards you, knocking any enemies prone. Yeah, that would be awesome. That would actually be pretty fucking awesome. So it's stunning shots on Master's Call, but Master's Call would be a high risk gameplay. Because you've got to move your companion behind the enemy and then use this, and it means you're... Yeah, it's a sort of micromanaging thing, so fuck it, stunning shots. I don't like micromanaging that much. But that is that. Like the Glass Tree. It took 3 separate expeditions from the south coast or the Northern Lands for Canada to reach the fabled Valley of Glass Tree. Though the legends had been exaggerated somewhat, the reality of the valley was breathtaking. It contained flora, fauna, and fauna that had never been seen in any other known part of Eora. Great lumbering beasts and terrifying winged creatures that flew so high it seemed to disappear into the clouds. And at the heart of it all was a great glass tree. When Canada examined it, it became obvious it was not made of glass at all, but a fascinating clear wood bearing transparent sap along its great trunk and branches. Though the story-telling warrior was nowhere to be found, Canada did find a pair of glittering clear wooden gauntlets at the base of the tree. It's unclear who made them or if they were made from the tree's wood and why they were being left there. When a route finally charted, the other explorers began arriving in the Valley of Glass, but subsequent visitors reported that the flora and fauna had started to fade and disappear. Some speculated the arrival of outsiders was causing the magic of the valley to retreat back into the depths of Eora. Right, what are these? Characters hit by self, dazed for 6 seconds. Characters hitting self applies the same effect as characters hit by self. So anybody hitting or get hit by this character gets dazed. Adele! Adele! I've got something for you. Right. Find Galvino. Is he not in the next game? Anyway, Grey Sleeper. Seek the wall in Egypt made of copper, argil, or stone. Awaken first your essence so that you may atone. Is that something to do with the main quest? Right, Durgan's Battery, Siege of Craghold. Can't do that until I advance the main quest. Wait until I complete the White March before I do that. We could go back and do that for Palagina. Yeah, I have to talk to the Grieving Mom about that.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed. Your mind comes bearing questions, Watcher.
I had questions for you. You addressed me as Watcher when we met. Do you know what a Watcher is? There's a slow chill, and for a moment it seems as she's going to fade from your vision. It's just she can't bear to be seen.
The title came unbidden. I do not know why I spoke of it. Yet it seemed the right mantle, a familiar one.
Yeah, I do not know where it came from. If I have given offence, forgive me. Forgive me. You would know more than I. Why are you afraid? I do not know. It's an odd feeling. I do not know where it stems from. It was a word that arose when you saw me. It said that Watchers see much that others do not, and I have been hidden from the eyes of others for some time. Let me ask you about something else. How is it no one can see you?
Their eyes see me, but their minds will not remember past the call.
A call?
My face is like the call of a newborn, hiding the face beneath. And for my body, I am able to wrap myself as a mother cradling her child. I am here, as you see me, but to them, their eyes see only the cloak that I wear, a peasant mother, dirty, shabby, not worth knowing. As a watcher, you see more than others. To the eyes of most, I am as unseen as the spirits you share memories with.
How are you able to affect minds? I divert the flow of our senses down a different path, to a place easily forgotten. It's not unwelcome when one does not desire the presence of others. The surface of their minds register a figure, but the memory slips away. They see a woman, but there's no desire for conversation, no desire for any questions, and I have none to ask. When we first met, how was I able to enter your dream?
I do not know. What do you speak of? If you were in my thoughts, I could not feel your presence, nor do I know what you saw there.
As she speaks, you suddenly feel an odd sensation in your mind, as if walking in her thoughts would be as if walking down the back street of a merchant stalls. The claustrophobia of the wooden shelves and canvas traps made less oppressive by the sheer number of enticing vials and bottles that stretch out to the sides of you. You suddenly realise that whether she admits it or not, you could enter her dream and observe it without her ever knowing. And in response, your hand twitches. There's a feeling that you could simply pick up a vial, taste it, sample it, and keep your memory as your own. And suddenly you find yourself back in your present thoughts. Though you are away for a moment, she seems unaware of your diversion of thought. It may be one of your gifts, an ability to walk in memories as easily as someone walks upon the ground. I want you to see your memories again. Perhaps you'd like to hear what I saw in your memories? Yeah, perhaps you'd like to hear about it? A mixture of curiosity and fear wells up between you. She raises her left hand, the chiming of her wrist quelling the rise within her. She is frightened, but curiosity anchors her.
And what did you see in my memories? I would hear you speak of them.
The memory I saw upon meeting you was you helping give birth to a child. There is silence, and as your breath falls still, you hear the faint cry of a child in the distance. A newborn child, almost exactly like we heard in the dream. As you listen, the grieving mother raises both hands as if weaving her wrists, chiming as she does, in a semblance of the gentle turning she provided while newborn was crowning. To your surprise, you recognise the emotions in the words from the memory, even as if they're new to you. As she weaves her hands through the air in front of her, child's cries grow still, yet the sound of the chimes weaves almost hypnotically into your thoughts. The sky seems sharp and clear, and you feel as if you are towering over your surroundings, as if kneeling atop a great pillar, just as she did in memory. Oh, fuck, I need a drink. To your surprise, the grieving mother falls as if her strings were cut, and her knees crack hard against the ground. Her hands never cease moving in the air, the chimes echoing her movements. In a ragged voice you hear her speak. The voice is that of a much older woman, the one before you, harsh, almost desperate.
Tell me what you saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
In the middle of a forest atop a great plateau, the sky was clear, mist blanketing the trees. And that's an intellect check, so I've got to do it. As she kneels before you on the ground, she whispers to you, hoarsely and never fainter with distance between you.
The stone of the plateau. Its color. Tell me its color.
I can't remember, honestly. Was it still virgin or surface warmed by the sun? As you watch, her hands rise before her. She clasps them, then cups them, as if feeling for the first time, as she stares down to the cradle of her hands, and the chimes sound once, twice, as they swing with the movement.
And what did these hands hold?
They held the mother she gave birth painfully. I'm not sure. There was a child you were bringing forth, and your hands, I don't recall. Yeah, it was a mother while she gave birth painfully, I think. She leans back as though looking at the sky, her eyes closed, the film building on them. With a slow intake of breath, you feel time become quiet around you. That's all. Do I have... Do I have a record of the dream? Yes, I still have that note to do. Okay, let's just ask her to see the dream again, and then I can tell her
Your
more.
mind comes bearing
Can I appear into your memories again? A plateau almost the height of a tower, several stories high. The plateau is like a table lying beneath the clear sky, and beneath the plateau, surrounded in all directions, a forest, hazy with mist. Though whether it's actual mist or distance is a recollection. Resting the curve of the natural arch above you is a great copper bell, half the size of a man hanging at attention. The plateau is soaked in the sun. The rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied. But you feel your body. Okay. I hear a sound, soft series of chimes like wind chimes. At the sound, the scene gains colour and texture, and the sound is beckoning for filling your senses and thoughts like mist rolling into a sealed chamber. And the chimes coax you deep into memory. You're certain it's a memory, a warm one. You're on the stone of the plateau, your knees on the warm texture of the ground, silver, white, shimmering like ardor. Okay. The plateau is formed of it, glistening in the sun. And your hands are in motion, weaving not thread but gallant, tenderly moving along the first movements of a bearer's wheels. Your hands are wet. Your hands upon the flesh of a newborn child. You can feel the crown of its tiny little head turning in your grip. Okay, you hear the sound of chimes. Okay. Okay, I walked in dreams again, thoughts, I believe your memories.
And what did you see in my memories? I would hear you speak of them.
I want to talk about the birth memory again, help you recall it.
Tell me what you saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
Right, it was middle of a forest atop a great plateau. The sky was clear, mist blanketing the trees.
The stone of the plateau. Its color. Tell me its color.
It was silver adra, surface warmed by the sun, yes.
And what did these hands hold?
Yeah, so I'm not sure. There was a child you were bringing forth in your hands, I don't recall. So that's about the most... There was a sudden intake of breath and then a release. Her eyes blur, closed, forming into slits, but in the brief glimpse you have of her changing expression, the rippling pain in her features seemed to have smoothed. She saw us once, twice, and then you feel her once again in your thoughts, the rasping husk of her voice swallowed and drawn within her.
It was the birthing bell you saw. Has it been so long? Have I forgotten so much?
With the words come the river of impulses, thoughts, as if loosed from a breaking dam, as if your mind wraps impulses into words. You realise it's her muscles and her hardened thoughts relaxing and breathing again. There's such intensity you almost want to step back from the flow, but you find the wave of impulse cause questions to float to surface, and then, among whom is the name Watcher. What is a birthing bell?
It is a plateau formed of the spirit stone Audra. At its top is set a great bell, cradled in the reaching arm of the plateau. It stirs in the wind, and it sounds for leagues when struck by kith hands. In distant times, the great bell served as a Glenfathan watchtower, perhaps. Why they abandoned it, I do not know. Other men came in time, settlers, and claimed the tower as their own. I, in turn, claimed it from them. The pillar became a cradle where I could draw new souls into the world.
And the memory you're helping a woman give birth.
Yes. Yet, I believe you only saw a small part of the birthing ritual. It is not all in a moment, nor in a day. It is a journey of many years between the child, the mother, and I.
There was much I could do to aid the mother. Some sought the physical comforts of ritual to steady their thoughts, even Adra from the bell. Others would seek advice, words of counsel for the days ahead. I was able to provide drafts, tinctures, and a reading of the child's spirit, all to strengthen the mother. Can you tell me about the birthing ritual?
The ritual was one of many steps. It took many tens of years to carve them, but always the child's thoughts were there to guide me, from the moment it began to awaken, to the 3 seasons within the mother, to the birthing day, and the years to follow. The child's thoughts, that is where it began. The expectant mother, I could often sense her thoughts, and those of her child, before she could. I would soothe her, free her from the panic of questions. I would sound the memory of the birthing bell atop the plateau in her mind, letting the memory of the vibrations fill my thoughts and hers. Often, the child's soul could hear it too, so the sound of the bell echoed in the mother's thoughts.
You sense the mother's thoughts. Sharing memories and thoughts can bond lives together, asking hardships, and most of all, the sharing what is familiar. The bell itself provided shelter for such thoughts. Opportunities to see deep into the crevice, hollows in the rock where one could find shelter, clefts where you could find Adra all around you. Such shared images can bond souls even tighter and allow them to draw strength from each other. You mentioned the ritual lasted years. What would happen after the birth? Once the pain is channeled away, the mother and child breathe again. I sound the birthing bells on my wrist and allow the mother to hear the child's thoughts, the ringing echoing each other's thoughts. The bells open the way between them. Let her feelings pass into the newborn and let her feel the child in return. And when the feelings meet, that is when I weave another memory and leave it tied in their minds. Did these bells play an important role in the birthing process? Yes, and for years after, I gave a set to the child after delivery. It is a reminder of the memory the mother and child shared. You feel an odd sensation, a warmth, and you can feel a smell being shared, then it flickers and is gone. As the bells coax the child forth, so they accompany the child onwards, fastened about the wrist, to care for him in mind and body. There's no magic in it except the magical practicality. If a child sought to leave their cradles or escape their cribs, the mother could know through the warning of the chimes alone. At times, if the bond was strong, so would I. If not watched, children, much trouble may be had from tiny hands. It makes a sort of sense, like... There's a way to keep an eye on the children and make sure they don't get up to trouble. The chimes are kept until the child needs them no longer. When I no longer can hear them sounding in my mind, I know the spirit has changed and the bonds we shared are gone. This shedding may last many years or but a few, but it is necessary. You watch over the children for years after birth. Children are fragile things. Even the ties of blood and mind may not be enough. They must be watched, and even then the body may fail the mind. But if watched, even the most sickly child may cling to life if determined enough, and many of their souls were tied to me. If a child's spirit failed, I could sound the chimes in their mind and grant them strength, even from afar. It did not always serve, but it gave hope. It sounds like you've seen tragedy too. Enough to never wish to feel it again. In the times before the bell, children who died were cast upon the waters of the lake beyond the bell. Sometimes, while alive, if their past and futures were deemed weak. It was a different time. Children were treated carelessly. Those times are past. Other questions? Why would you give a telling of a child's spirit?
Many would come seeking their child's future, or A reading into the child's past, the lives its soul is said to have lived. Such things are not mine to see. I meant no offense.
You're frightened. Something about Watchers. As the thought of Watchers crosses your mind, you feel a sharp pain, stabbing, and a sudden burn of lashes across your back and shoulder, and then it is gone, and you feel the grieving mother before you, silent, almost fearful, weary.
I was something else, but because the title Watcher was cast on me, the word carried a weight I had neither earned nor deserved. The world seems filled with such titles. They distract, I think, from the actions of the person, from their strengths.
Why did they believe you were a Watcher?
The world has many corners, and in some corners the name Watcher is more known. It is an easier title than others, and at times it is easier to wear. Placing a title upon what is unknown can dispel the fear of it, and I did not fight it. I even believed it true, though I knew little of the ways of Watchers. It even granted me strength. I was able to see the thoughts of others, shape them, and help guide souls. Watcher seemed enough, and the name seemed to matter little in the light of one's acts.
But if they came to you to read their child's souls, what did you tell them?
I drew upon the present. I felt the soul of the mother before me, and used that to tell the child's path, to give it a voice. If only the thoughts of the mother and the emotions that lie beneath were mine to impart. I did, and so I used that as the telling of their child's future.
And what if it turned out to be untrue?
Futures fulfilled by one's own spirit are as strong as anything seen by another's eyes. And if one draws from the emotion of the mother, it matters only when harm is done. And their lives I knew well. I could weave their lives, their thoughts over time, to the mother, to the child, and once the child had been born, was sheltered, I could relax the threads of thought until the child could stand on its own.
So you shaped their thoughts, made the readings true.
This is my calling, to show them the life I see before them, and even greater, make them believe it.
That is not what a Watcher does. We do not shape minds, we see them as they are.
Even the most strongly worded tells may not be enough to save a child and allow it to be born. If I have the strength to strip away the stem of a mother's spite to expose kindness, weave nurturing from disdain and neglect, then that is my calling. And with the weight of Watcher behind my thoughts, these tells gain strength. Strength I never possessed on my own. They believed. And what they believed became the truth. With each child that was set upon that path, the title of Watcher became stronger. You must understand, without such weight upon my words, many lives would have been lost, drowned, cast in the lake beyond the bell. Now the trail to the lake is lost and reclaimed by the forest, as was meant. A Watcher was not there to look over us, but it was a Watcher that saved them, and with a Watcher's strength, children were born, were cared for, and grew strong.
Yeah, but still, to inflict your will on another, that is not reading, that is control.
What use is a frightened will when a spirit is at stake? Would you let the fears of a mother end her newborn's life? You felt it in the memory, the weight of it, the importance of the child's life. It was a memory we shared.
That memory is not the truth, is it? And suddenly there's a rasping cry across your consciousness. She raises her hands and you see the chimes draped from them, yet they make no sound as she moves.
A greater good was done, and children were saved. It is a choice you may be forced to make one day, and when faced with it, you will make the same one.
When that happens, I'll be making my own choice, yes. I refuse to exercise that kind of control over others, even for a greater good. Both of those are the ones I would go for, definitely not that one. I hate control freaks. Oh yeah, when that happens I'll be making my own choice, so...
This choice is not yours to make, Watcher. You will do as the world needs, as its children need. It is greater than you and your twist of sight.
I have other questions about the Burfing Bell. Where is the Burfing Bell located? Lies deep in the forest of Deerwood, at the borders of Glenflaffen lands surrounding it. Barely a town, not one you would find in any map, but it held an important place. It held an important place for those there, even if those were far from the beaten track. Small families tied like a knot, joined at the wrists in mind and fought, all welcomed, all had purpose. I heard the name Watcher in your thoughts when you remembered the Burfing Bell. Why?
It is because I once believed I was one, and others believed I was one.
There's another name for people with your abilities, you know. I see the word cipher in your mind, and I see its meaning. Although I did not train in such things, and the title feels more of a cloak the world casts on me and judges me for, it's curious how a title such as that can define one at times, but be the source of such emotion that comes from no one, but the voice of others. It is a curse to the world. Okay, why did you believe you're a Watcher? Do you know anything about the Watchers? I feel they were once marked, hated. Such hate feels dim now. I can feel that other hatreds have risen for other titles. Let me ask you something else then. More about you?
And I you. In asking, we reveal ourselves to each other.
Why are you called the Grieving Mother? The air seems to go still for a moment. Time stretches out as it did before when the two of you first met. There's a wash of uncertainty from her mind, slowly shaping in questions. That swirl and do not coalesce. She does not move. She seems paralysed as if you just wrapped her in a cold blanket.
That is a question for you, not I. That is not my name, although if you wish to hang the title on me, I cannot stop you. Is that what you see when your eyes fall upon me?
So I named you? As a watcher you may see what I do not, or your mind shapes the thoughts I project into new meaning. There's truth in that title, but it's not all I am. So why do you grieve then? You must have felt it, seen it as many names as the pain has its caused. As the words take shape, they seem to tumble from her. The wave is great, and my fucking tongue is sore, rushing into your mind. To your surprise, it feels as if you've been touched by a beerwick again. And behind it, cutting through the torrent like a knife, are the thoughts of the grieving mother. There's a wound cut across the belly of the world, a jagged knife that has strips the stems from men and carved furrows across the wombs of women. There's much I've forgotten, but I can feel the wound all around me. It will not let me rest, not let me be. The children have gone silent, yet their voices may be heard again. You're speaking of Hollowborn. The word, there's a slowness of thought, as if the word has been weighed, accepted. It does not feel natural to her. You can sense it. It was once unknown to me, as much of what was unfolding in the outside world. When the curse came upon us, I thought it a smaller thing, a thing of communities and hearths. It was only when I walked did I feel it stretching out around me in all the cracks of the world. Children have been cursed. I do not think it is something they caused, nor something deserved. That which is inside them has been torn away. I do not know how, but this wound must be stitched close again. The world bleeds forth from between the world woman's legs. If this blood is not stemmed, the world will die and grow quiet. Do you know the cause? I shall know it through you. Your eyes will track the cause, find the path, and I will be beside you. There's no wound that cannot be healed, and if you're truly a watcher, then this wound may be seen for what it is. You saw me where I hid. Whoever's hands have stilled the world, you shall see them too. What if sealing the wound causes more damage? And what if there's no way to heal it? What then? I'll be there, and you will do what must be done. You were given your sight so you may watch the world, and you will tend it. The children shall hear their voice again. If your will is weak, then I shall strengthen it. Lean upon me as I lean upon you. You shall be my eyes, and I shall be your hands when the time comes. What do you think of Deerwood and the Empire? Those titles are markings on the map and channel people's minds in violent directions. Such things are a threadbare blanket cast over the world, where men and women seek more importance than simply being. How do you see the world then? The world is a field of souls, tilled by Bereth's wheel. The thought of cultures and territories do not concern me. The sowing and harvest the field does. Bereth's wheel has slowed, perhaps stopped altogether. No. Yes and no. It's hard to answer without... yeah. Bereth's wheel's still there and working. It's just that there's no souls going into it to cycle back into the children. It's hard. The way of putting it is all the souls that should be cycled by the wheel are getting funneled into something else. Anyway, whatever words, titles, laws, and blades do not devoted to carving away the harm or healing the wound holds little importance for me. There's something else I would know about you? Something different. Can you tell me about the birthing bell?
The birthing bell. It is where I could draw new souls into the world. I recall some of the memory of it through what you have seen, but not all.
Oh, fucking forgiving mom, that was a lot. Right, keep her in the party for now then. Ow. My tongue, grieving mom, my fucking tongue. Anyway, we'll end the episode there with a fucking massive talk from grieving mom.